we can't gloss over that, right? You went overseas for a writing camp.
Last March, I got an invite, like an email, and I was like, I immediately declined. You're looking at high 5 figures or 6 figures for a hit song.
So T-Man, thanks for joining us on the Musicpreneur podcast. I appreciate you. And I know you were, I think we talked offline, you were the second or third interview that I had back when this was the DIY Artist podcast, now the Musicpreneur podcast, where the shift is a little bit more towards empowering artists to, and music creators, music producers, and the like to create their small business, really to see their business as a small business and empowering them to go from 0 to 1, turning their passions into either a part-time or a full-time profit. And you, my friend, you encapsulate that very well because you've been on the grind, you've been doing your thing, you've been overseas, right? And I know we talked a little bit about your story before, which for the folks that didn't see that episode, I definitely want you guys to check that one out here. I'll link it somewhere in the video. But since we're not going to get too much into your story today, I just want to give you kind of the floor here to provide us a little bit of an update since I think it was last year. So what have you been up to, man?
A lot, and so I don't know where you want me to start, but yeah. So since the last year, my main thing for the last 8 years or so, I'm involved in sync licensing. So sync, that's just basically creating music, catering music to music creation to TV and film. So had some placements along the way. I got some more in the pipeline, and so about a year, so the end of 2021, I tried to not necessarily pivot, but I've kind of incorporated pitching to Korea and the Asian market, and we'll probably get into that. But yeah, so I kind of been doing more, than sync, still writing, still doing a bunch of stuff. Also trying to, I'm doing a little offering of my services. Like I've been helped a lot along the way, man. I've been helped by different people who are very experienced in sync licensing and have been given a bunch of wisdom and advice. So I kind of want to, do the same thing. I want to help others because I've been helped along the way. So I've been I started to offer recently some services for, consultations and stuff. So you get me for either half an hour or an hour, and we just go in depth about all things sync licensing, who to submit your music to, the quality it needs to be at. I'll give you like the real and stuff. So I have a Discord group that I co-admin as well, which we'll probably have the link in the video. That's more broad. Like I said, I'm a part of that. I'm always in there answering questions as well. But like I said, like if you want the real, like I said, I've been doing this for about 8 years. So if you want the real, I can give you, some time for half an hour, an hour. And also I want to offer my services of vocals, lyric writing. If you need some, melodies, hip hop lyrics, anything like that, I'm also offering that as well. So I'm just trying to wear a lot of hats like you, man. Like you also, you do that thing too. You're an artist, you make dope content, dope videos. So yeah, I'm just trying to, expand a little bit.
Yeah, and kind of backtracking a little bit, man. So I appreciate you saying that because, yeah, you went overseas, man. Don't we can't gloss over that, right? You went overseas for a writing camp, and tell us a little bit about that experience, and then we'll kind of go into the different things that you mentioned here. So how was that experience? Where exactly did you go, and what did you do, and what was that like? Before we continue, I'm super excited to announce the launch of the Musicpreneur Academy. The Musicpreneur Academy has been in the works for over 2 years, and I finally landed in a place where I feel like I can launch it the right way. Thanks to a good friend and business partner, we were able to craft the first course of many on the Musicpreneur Academy. This course was created with the intention in mind to help you monetize your brand as soon as possible. You will learn how to get a merch store started and up and running in no time through a simple step-by-step guide that will walk you through the process and help you get started on your journey today. We've carefully crafted and curated this information for you to get it as simple and as efficiently as possible without having to go through the internet, countless YouTube videos, Google searches, so on and so forth. And this comes from myself and my business partner, who collectively have years of experience creating merch stores, online stores, and selling it at venues and shows. It's one of the best ways to generate income for yourself, knowing that streaming does not pay what it should. So for a limited time, you can get the course at half off, 50% off, go ahead and go to the link in the description below. I'll see you there.
So like I said, a friend of mine who I met early in my sync journey, who actually encouraged me in sync to join Taxi, she got hooked up with a publisher over in Europe. And this publisher, where you have a publisher is like a company who helps you exploit the copyright of a composition or a song to pitch to, TV, film, whatnot. This particular publisher is in Sweden, and they target the Asian market. So Korea, Japan, China, and they target like the artist market for like, as far as placement. So their writers and producers craft songs to pitch to those markets and stuff. So we co-wrote a song. I actually remember my wife had foot surgery, and in the lobby at the outpatient center, I was on my laptop, doing my verse. After I wrote it, I laid the vocals. We sent it off to him. He loved it and stuff. So I was submitting. So that was my end. And so maybe about per month, I was submitting a song each. And the beginning of last year, with just like how I submit to sync opportunities, just submitting the song, not thinking about it, just keep it moving. And last March, I got an invite, like an email, and I was like, I immediately declined. Not declined like to him, but in my head, like, so an email came, hey, we do this annual camp. This year it'll be in Italy. I'm like, Italy, wow. And so we're going to have writers from all over the world, and we're going to be there for 4 days to make music for the Asian market. And in my head, because COVID and just the length of travel, I had never been on a plane for that long. I had never been on a plane to go to a different country. I've cruised to other countries, but, the plane, going to Europe, I'd never been to Europe. So I was like, man. And so...
What's up, fam? I'm in the middle of editing this episode, which is brought to you by DistroKid. DistroKid, the place to distribute your music if you're a musicpreneur. Now, there's a feature about DistroKid that I've actually never really talked about on this channel or any of my other channels, really, and it can generate you some additional money on top of what you make through your streaming. One of the things that I really wanted to hone in on this channel specifically and with the podcast is bridging the gap between the creative, the music creator specifically on the Musicpreneur, and generating or monetizing off of your passion, your music passion, specifically whether you're a producer, an artist, a songwriter, and the like. There are many ways to structure your online business, but one of the ways that people can start generating income really quickly is through affiliates. And if you don't know what affiliate marketing is, it essentially is where you can make a sale or recommend a product specifically and share a link, and then from there receive a commission off of anyone who signs up for that specific product. Usually any service that's online will provide an affiliate link for you to share with family, friends, and the like in case or event they want to sign up for that product or service as well. DistroKid is no different, and so you can sign up with DistroKid using my VIP link, and if you'd like to get any friends or family involved, anybody else that you know that has an interest in music and wants to sign up, they can sign up through your VIP link, believe it or not. So all you have to do is log into your DistroKid account, head over to the referral program, click on that link, and then from there, share it with your friends and family. Now, back to the podcast.
I think I sent a screenshot to my wife, or I text her right as the email came through, and I'm like, man, this is a cool opportunity, but like I don't think I could, swing it. She's like, how come? So she wouldn't even let me. She wouldn't allow me to be like, and I don't know if that's the like imposter syndrome or you feeling like you're inadequate. I don't know if it was like a bit of that at play, but she taught me into it. We sat down. So how some camps work, there are some camps that handle, all your expenses. This particular camp handled only a portion of the expenses. So like as far as like hotel and food, stuff. So like, I was responsible for airfare and things like that. So after talking with my wife for a few weeks about, can we make this happen? We made it happen. It was, the cool part was the camp was around our anniversary. So the camp was for 4 days. I went over for the camp, which I'll get into that, like the actual days of the camp. I went over for the camp. After the camp was over, my wife flew over, and we used the latter part as like a vacation, anniversary trip and stuff. So that was fun. So yeah, the camp itself was in the Verona region of Italy. So that's like North Italy. A wine region, like wine is the draw there. Beautiful, beautiful place, man. So I flew in. So I flew from Orlando to Chicago, and Chicago to Milan. So it was an overnight flight. The actual flight time was like maybe 10 hours, but like, with the, time zone shift and stuff like that. So I left at like 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I arrived at like 1 p.m. the next day, just to give you an idea. Where I flew into Milan. So the camp is in Verona. Milan and Verona are about hour and a half on train. So I had to hop on a train. Had never been on a train. Sorry, let me backtrack. I've been on a train in New York years ago. Trains work a little differently. I have my app on my phone, tell me translate. I speak a little Spanish. I'm not fluent like you or anything like that. I speak a little Spanish. So, but Italian was a little bit harder for me to really grasp. So I spoke Spanish the best I could to ask, like, hey, is this the right train? Because for one, I thought I was on the wrong train. But, I got to the train station, hopped in the cab to go to the hotel because the camp was at the actual hotel. My roommate at the camp actually was a dude that I worked with virtually for about 8 or 9 years through like taxi and sync licensing. So that was our first time like meeting in person. Mad tall. He's like 6'4". My dude Axel from Austria, and so we were roommates, and we just kind of hung out the first day of the camp. Everybody flew in, was mad tired. There was people from all over. There was people from Korea there, people from Israel, people from the UK. Sweden was probably dominant. There was probably like 10 people from Sweden or more. There's a few other countries I'm forgetting, but yeah, man, it just made you like see how like the world is bigger than you. Like, get granted, like, all of our stories are important, right? And our experiences are valid, but just being at the table with people from Korea and Israel and it was just so humbling, man. It was so humbling just to be like in the midst of these talented individuals. I'm talking about like some of the most talented people you've ever seen, people that have had, artist deals with different labels in Europe, and people that have gone platinum in Korea and have gone platinum in Japan. So you're like in the mix of all of this. So the first night was just more chill, get in, we ate. And then the following day was like, get to work. So each day of the camp, you're in 2 groups of 3. So there was a session. The session in the morning was like from 10 to like 2. So you have 4 hours. So the expectation, so this is the pressure, right? So the expectation is to have at least an idea of a song like done at the end of the 4 hours. So you don't have to have a pristine, perfectly mixed and mastered song. But because, he's investing time, they're paying for the hotel rooms, they're paying for the meals. They want you to deliver. So I had never, it's one thing to work on in your own like home studio on your own time and your own pace, but it's a whole nother thing when like somebody's expecting you. But like we actually completed songs each 4 hour block. So 4 hour block in the morning, we break for lunch, 4 hour block in the evening, afternoon, and then we're done for the day. So that happened 4 days almost. Yeah, that happened. So I flew in Wednesday. So yeah, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it was 8 songs. So each, twice a day for 4 days, I ended up with 8 songs, 8 co-writes. Super dope. It was a mixture of R&B, pop, hip hop. So we're kind of in like the mode of pitching and stuff. So he gave us, the publisher gave us until the holidays to have everything done by, because people were wanted to kind of, get back home in their own like studios and, polish things up, which I was one of those. I'm like, this little demo is not going to cut it. You know what I'm saying? So I came back home, took some months to kind of get everything in line. And yeah, I think Christmas Eve or the day before Christmas Eve, we turned in our last song and stuff. So now they're just being pitched. But yeah, man, it was super dope, man. Super dope. It's annual. I would love to be invited back because me and my wife enjoyed Italy after that, but we didn't enjoy it. Like we didn't have enough time. You know what I'm saying? Even though I was there for almost 2 weeks, it wasn't enough time and stuff. So hopefully I get invited back, and hopefully we can kind of go and chill some more, like to make it like a work vacation, type of thing again. So
man, that's beautiful, bro, and that's saying something, because if you have your business right, at the end of the day, like you mentioned, you can make it a work vacation. It's a tax write-off, right?
Yes.
If you're making the right money
was.
at the end of the day, like you get a vacation to Italy, man. That's a beautiful thing. So
yeah, but she told
so
me keep all
you
your
were
receipts. Keep all your receipts. I was like, yeah.
hey, there you go, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, you pumped out 8 songs, so that's more than most people pump out in a year in some cases, right?
Yeah.
So now that you've pitched those songs, obviously the intention is to get an artist to pick that up, and then hopefully transition that into their own work, and eventually just record it themselves and go from there. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I didn't explain that part. So we're writing. So to work in the Asian market, you don't have to speak the language. So you write in English. All the melodies and vocals and lyrics are in English. And then yes, if so the publisher is like the third, like the not a third party, but the publisher takes a song and submits it to like different agencies and record labels. And so if a label likes it and accepts it, they'll have a team of they have their own team of writers and lyricists to translate to Korean or Japanese or even Chinese. So they'll keep the melody for the most part, but they'll just change the lyrics basically. So so people, I think my wife's aunt asked me, "Oh, do you know Korean?" I'm like, "Nah, like this is all English and stuff." So the cool part, which you're not really involved in the part of like the after a song is picked, you just kind of hear back from the publisher. Just like, hey, they want it or they don't want it. I haven't got those emails yet, but I'm pretty sure like the songs that I made that I helped co-create, they were dope, man. Because it's like my mind is limited. Like I can only do so much, but like being paired with a producer and a different writer as well, like just the thoughts flowed a lot more and stuff. So that's kind of the process. And then it could take anywhere from like, so even when the label in Asia, picks up a song, they might not release it right away because which I'm learning, bro, the Asian market is super like calculated. Like they plan out their artists and their band's albums and releases like years in advance. Like it's crazy. So like this song, let's say they like a song that I did at the camp, they might put it on what's called put it on hold. So the publisher will put it on hold and reserve that song for a label. So they might have it on hold for a year or two because like the concepts that they're thinking of and having what the artists go with now, the concept for your song, it doesn't fit. It fits their lane in like a year or two. So it's just very interesting how the industry works. Like I said, I know sync a little bit more. Like I know the ins and outs of sync way more than I do the Asian market. But it's a very interesting market. The return on investment, depending on like the caliber of the group or the artist that takes it, it could pay more than sync. So that's kind of like the goal there. Just kind of sitting and waiting, not waiting around like for it to happen, but just kind of just working. Like I am proud of those songs, but like as you know, in this business, you kind of have to just keep creating it. The taxi mantra is to write, submit, forget, and repeat. Like you forget it, have it out of your mind, because if it's ever like before you, then it kind of hinders your new thoughts and your brand new ideas and stuff. So you forget, and one day, hopefully, you get the email and say, "Hey, what I'm saying, BTS wants the song," and then you could retire on the island somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, I was gonna ask you because obviously we know sync licensing and depending on the placement, it can be from, I don't know, low end would probably be like less than $100 to all the way up to a couple thousand depending on the situation, right? But yep. with placing through the publisher here in this situation, I mean, are you talking about a whole different range, a whole different bracket, or is it kind of similar? And then if you get a BTS, then like that's the golden ticket.
That is the golden ticket. I feel like like I said, depending on the caliber of the artist and stuff. So let's say, even if you get I don't know like the actual conversion, because this publisher will, when that time comes, will pay me in euros. So basically, this publisher in Asia, you get 2 checks a year, like biannually. I think in the beginning of the year and the end of the year, for what's called mechanicals. So mechanicals are like the sales and streams, the album sales, because Koreans really buy. They still go to stores to buy the actual like the albums, like the physical albums. In the
That's
West,
huge.
yeah, in the West, we kind of don't do that as much anymore. Like we're big on streaming, but Koreans actually, I say Koreans, Asians stream and buy because like the packaging in the Asian market is super like in depth, and so it's like the whole thing, like a release date in South Korea is like a huge deal for like a huge band. It's like the whole town, like from what I hear, it's like a town affair, like in Seoul, Korea. Like it's crazy and stuff. So yeah, the payout. So you can make, let's say you get a band like, you know, say BTS. Let's just shoot high, right? So you're not getting all this money up front because you're getting paid, you know, on the back end each quarter for streams, and if they go on tour, you're getting paid each time that they, you know, do the song live. If it gets placed on a TV show or a film, like that's still the payment as well. So yeah, BTS, you could earn at least, depending on the splits. Let's say you're 2 writers on this song, 3 writers. You're looking at high 5 like figures or 6 figures for a hit song. For like a album cut, maybe lesser than that, but like for like a hit song, you could easily make 6 figures.
That's crazy, man. Off of one song, and
you know,
I know,
yeah,
I know for us, specifically you and I, and Impax and Josh TXL, man, we got very fortunate because we got a little taste of that with Limits to Sky, and that song that us 4 of us did has taken off again. The story's up there, but you know, between TikTok and Spotify, we've gotten, you know, handful of checks, if you will, and definitely better than I expected. So
way better than I expected.
Yeah, man. But that BTS money, I mean, that sounds
That's
great.
That's a different bracket. and like I said, because that's kind of like everybody's like aspiration, right? So like that's very. Right. It's not impossible to get a song with them, but it's very competitive. So you're going to compete against other labels and publishers and stuff like that to kind of, you know, to have that spot and stuff. So, but if you write like in anything, like in sync, or if you're pitching to artists or bands, if you write good music, you will get like it will end up where it's supposed to, and you will, you know, reap the benefits. Now, like I said, that the level of the benefits will be dependent upon the artist or the placement and whatnot. Right. But yeah, like a placement with like some of the major artists in Korea could change your life actually.
That's incredible, man. I was reading an excerpt from, it was either a video or a book. I know I've seen it in multiple sources, but it basically said success. It's like a formula for success, right? Success equals, and in parentheses, if you remember your arithmetic, your geometry, whatnot, in parentheses, hard work plus skill. So those are the 2 factors that you really contribute to. And then outside of the parentheses, times luck, right? Or you could say good fortune and providence, or that sort of thing. So there's a lot that goes into success that oftentimes a lot of us attribute our own doing, and I think for the most part there's a lot that's out of our control that we can't really control at the end of the day, right? That will yield that success. So
I think I told my wife that recently, like if you're in the, I won't say the music industry, but if you're in the arts, if you're creative, if you make content, if you make music, like when you put that video, when you upload that video, or when you submit that song to an opportunity, everything that happens after that is out of your control. Like, so you can edit the video, have the quality, you know, immaculate. The song, you can get a good mix, good clean vocal, but like, so there's some things in your control for the creation aspect. Once that's sent off, or once that video is uploaded, it's out of control. How people respond to it is different. If a label wants it, if an artist wants it, it's literally out of your control and stuff. So you just kind of gotta keep working. You have to keep working, and you just have to, you know, hope for the best. Really, it's like it's an industry. The arts is not for the faint-hearted, right? Like, this is not a fast reward based industry. You have to put in a lot of hours and a lot of work to even get an inkling. Like I say, our song did very, very well on you know, Spotify and Apple Music and Tidal and TikTok, but that's just a little taste. So like, but we all have, are in the midst of doing our 10,000 hours, right? So we're all still, just increasing and getting better at our craft each day. And so I think that's kind of like this, that's the unfortunate part, because like you want to get that big placement, you want to kind of, reap the benefits of that, but it's like it's really not up to you. It's up to the label. It's up to the artist. It's up to the music library. It's up to the publisher. It's up to all these other people besides you. It's crazy.
Yeah, but I think one of the things that, like, and you're absolutely right, and I think at the end of the day, if you focus on the hard work and skill part, ultimately it's kind of freeing, right? Because you're not so focused on the things that you can't control anymore, and you're like, it's out of my hands. But going back to something that you said in the beginning, which is, you providing consultation services, the hard work obviously is going to be there and the skill is going to be there, but you can cut your learning curve and increase the chances of that luck actually hitting. So increasing those aspects when you know the right people, when you're doing the right thing, when you're learning from the right strategies, and you're learning from somebody else's mistakes. So what you're offering, in terms of your consultation services is just another multiplier to it, which is cutting the learning curve in half, getting the inside scoop. A lot of this information, sure, it can be out there on the internet, but your firsthand experience can prove more valuable. So that half hour, 1 hour sitting with you, would essentially cost thousands of dollars, and should cost thousands of dollars, especially if that person ends up, landing that placement, or, if for whatever reason they decide to go the song pitching route with BTS or what have you, and now they're making six figures, right? Like it's all proportionate to what is out there and what's available. So that's why I wanted you to speak on that, because it's like, you could potentially land this, you could potentially land that, but in order for you to do that, you have to hone in on your skills, like you said, work hard, be patient, and then from your side, it's like, learning the right publishers, understanding how this works, understanding all the intricacies of both sync licensing and pitching through publishers. So yeah, man, I appreciate you speaking into that.
Oh, no problem, man. It's just, it's a really good thing to just have in mind, as you're working hard, and because like you could, I don't know who said it, but it's like a snowball effect, right? Like when a snowball when a snowball is coming downhill, it's tiny, but as it keeps going, as gravity's at work, as speed is at work, it gets bigger. So that's kind of how I view the arts and being a content creator or artist or songwriter, producer. Like once you gain a little bit of ground and you keep the ball rolling, you keep working, you keep investing in your craft, eventually, things will happen.
Couldn't have said it better, man. So I want to extend that invite to the Musicpreneur community and anyone who's watching, singers, songwriters, heck, even producers. If you're interested in learning more about sync licensing, Terrell is your go-to guy. Not only is he knowledgeable, but he's approachable. As you can see, he's got a wealth of knowledge. And on our previous episode, he was actually giving game away for free. So if you missed out on that, it's not too late, because there's some information out there already. But at the same time, you can tap into his resources, understanding a little bit more from his vantage point by booking that consultation with him. So I'll link all that information down below, including the Discord server that he mentions he's also a part of. So T-Man, I appreciate your time, brother. Is there anything else you wanted to impart on the community? Anything else you wanted to share before we call it a day?
So yeah, the consultations, before we close or before we wrap up, consultations, because like I said, I've been helped a lot along the way. So my normal rates, because I'm new to this, so I kind of asked around, like, what's a fair rate, whatnot. So because you're my guy, like I want to give like a discount for people to hit me up. So you can reach out via email, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. I'm on all of those. So my normal rates, let's say for an hour of my time, because like in that hour, like I'm gonna give you game, like I'm gonna give you a lot of game. I'm gonna give you tangible information to kind of leave with, and and point you in the right direction. For an hour, normally it's about 200. Half an hour is about 100. So I'm gonna do half off. I'm gonna do 30 minutes. Let's go. $50. in an hour, let's do 100. You know what I'm saying? So, and I could, like I said, if things are even if even that's out of your budget, you know, let me know and I could work with you. Like I'm very, like I said, I try to be approachable. I try to be hospitable to the aspiring artists, because we're all aspiring, right? It's just that I've been fortunate to gain some ground in this side of the industry, and I just want to help others.
Listen, man, you take if you are listening to this podcast, honestly, that's a steal. It should be 10 times that price at least, given the track record of this man, given the 8 years that he's going to condense all of those trial and errors into, you know, a couple sessions with you. You know, I paid a therapist $150, and even that wasn't enough. So to pay this man, you know, $100 for an hour and $50 for half an hour is really a steal. So take advantage of it. Let him know that, you know, you heard of him through the Musicpreneur podcast, and that you wanted to book him because of this podcast episode specifically. So T-Man, I appreciate you doing that for the community. Again, your knowledge is worth a lot more than that, but I know your goodwill will take you far and will help other people go far along the ride as well, man. So again, Sync Licensing, publishing, your go-to guy, and then of course he's a great songwriter, talented artist. So if you ever need a work for hire for any of your own projects, T is the man. So appreciate you coming on the Musicpreneur podcast, brother, and sharing your knowledge with us.
Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me, man. We got to do another one, man. I know we got the bar is high for those songs that we do have, you know what I'm saying, with Impacts and TXL, but like I would love to work with you again, man. Like I know that you're busy. I'm a busy man, but you know, if we can make it work, let's do it.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode. This episode was brought to you by DistroKid, produced by my company NTS Media, and hosted by myself, Nico Santana. If you enjoyed this episode, I encourage you to join our online community on Patreon, patreon.com/Nico Santana. Make sure to join the Musicpreneur tier to get access to exclusive interviews, exclusive content, tips, tutorials, and more. This year, we'll be releasing some amazing tools for the everyday musicpreneur, so stay tuned for that. On top of that, you'll get access to one-on-one support, mentorship, coaching, and the like. And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to give it a like, share it with a friend, subscribe to our channel, and watch the following episode. Much love until next time.